I'll guard the path with Akasha.
We will guard the path until you return.
Part of the ladder. Akasha was right. The trail's in bad shape. This looks recent. Must have broken off when Savohar climbed up here. I'll save this for a dyer. I think I can reach those beams if I jump against the cliff. Okay, now how to climb higher. Be careful not to let this stain my hands. Ladder must have broken off after Savohar passed through. I need to find another way out. Broken bridge. I might be able to make the jump to the other side. That's a lot of blood. Savohars? He must have hurt himself pretty bad getting over the bridge. It's not looking good. It looks like he left a trail. I can follow with my focus. There's the Stormbird. Getting closer. Machines. Sabahar must have snuck past them. I could probably slip past them. Or take them out. That's all of them. I'll put these in my pack. feel the heat leaving my body. There's Sabohar. In pretty bad shape.
The true sun above me. The true sun before me. Show me the way this eventide. The true sun above me.
You must be Sabohar.
The true sun before me. Show me the way this eventide. No. No. The vessel must be empty for the coming vision.
You don't need a vision. You need medical attention. On the way up, I saw parts of the trail had given way. Is that how you hurt yourself?
My pain. All part of the ritual.
You're hurt bad. And your people are running out of time. Staring at the Stormbird isn't solving anything.
You don't understand the omen. It fell here at the beacon. I just need to see the twilight path. And my people will find their home.
Listen, Lakasha is doing the best she can down there, but machine attacks, angry Oseram. The Order is scared, Savar.
The last rays of eventide will burn away their fear.
I don't think so. What do you think's gonna happen here? If you sit long enough, the sun will show you something?
A path to a new home. The fallen machine can only mean that the storm has passed. And salvation is at hand.
Or some Oseram shot it, and it hit an old tower. Look, I think you punctured a lung. You can't heal it with prayer.
The sun will provide. And I will not lose faith.
I'd be more concerned about losing blood. Your people are worried about you. They need shelter, security.
The true sun above me. The true sun before me. Show me the way. This
I
eventide.
think you've been staring at your salvation this whole time.
The true sun above me.
Gotta get over to that Stormbird. Grab its heart. Stormbird heart is valuable. Enough to feed all the refugees waiting below. And his answer is sunstroke and a prayer? Why does every priest I meet think blind faith is the answer to everything? Dyer can make use of this. The Osram that was watching the refugees probably went to get Tolland. I gotta get them out of here before he comes back. Lens. Guess I'll figure out what to do with it later. There. The Order should be able to afford shelter with his heart. Some food and a change of clothes wouldn't hurt either.
Savahar? How you holding up?
I need to get back over there. Savahar? I guess you did the best you could. Rest easy now. I'll make sure your people are safe. I should let Lakasha know. And give her the Stormbird heart.
Don't make this difficult. Get out of the way.
No.
There's Tolland with his thugs.
I'm a generous gent. So I'll give you one more chance to make it easy on yourselves and clear out.
We won't let you pass, Asaram. If you choose bloodshed, that's on your conscience.
Ain't it just like the Carja to make things harder than they have to be? Okay, boys. You heard her. Get your consciences ready.
Hold on now, Tolland.
You again? Listen, I'm all out of patience here. I clipped that Stormbird's wings. The salvage is mine. I don't care who gets in my way. Nora savages or Shadow Carja fleabags. I'm taking it.
Well, from what I hear, the law says that whoever gets the salvage first keeps it. Which in this case is me. Am I right?
You took the heart? I shot that Stormbird! Me!
Am I right?
She's right, boss. Blasted love, shut up! Okay. You win. Hey, I'm doing fine. I don't need that salvage anyhow. But these people need all the help they can get. Come on, boys. Back to Chain Scrape. I need a drink.
Aloy, again, we thank you.
You're welcome. Now take this heart. Use it to buy food, clothes, shelter for your people. Maybe even land to build a new home.
This is... Savahar must make these decisions.
No, I'm sorry, Lakasha. Savahar isn't coming back. He's gone. I know it's hard, but your people need a leader now. Go to Chainscrape. Talk to the forge woman there, Petra. Give her the Stormbird heart. She'll look after you and your people until you can get back on your feet. Find your path.
I'll do my best, Aloy. What choice do I have? Here, please accept this. It is modest, but I hope it helps in some small way. To Chainscrape, then.
She took out the bristle tracks 3 of them too long.
Almost 4. Last time I was back, he'd already started 1.
You gonna rub it in, redhead? I ain't listening.
Come on! It's a serious fighting.
You're back? Well, that's just great.
I have other places to be.
By all means, don't let me stop you.
Oven must be.
Armor is my trade. Come back and I'll show you my wares once again. Are you ready?
Back for that free meal? Go on, peruse my menu.
Well, look who's back. Making sparks fly out there?
Has Tolland been giving the refugees any trouble?
Nah, he's still nursing his pride over at his shop. I've seen Karja fuss pots made of tougher stuff than that brittle bolt. Anyway, he knows if he messes with the Shadow Karja, he messes with me.
I have to go. It was good to see you again, Petra.
And you, Flamehair. Don't be a stranger.
Alvin said no one could clear out the machines, but she did it.
Hi!
Savior, he really needs a challenge. Play some strike. What? I will take whatever ale you recommend.
Oh, you want to play, Red? Ah, I knew I'd make a strike player out of you yet. How about this time I tell you how to use a board's terrain to your advantage? This one's got all the different terrains you can encounter in a game of Strike. Knowing when and how to use them can mean the difference between victory and defeat. Terrain mainly affects your machine's combat power. As you know, when fighting an opponent's machine, you compare its combat power to yours. The higher your machine's combat power, the more damage you can do. So finding the right terrain is an essential strategy for overpowering your opponent. Here, I'll show you. Grab that piece to your left and move to attack my machines. Now let's take a look at your combat power and the value of the terrain it's standing on. Since your machine is attacking, it's using its 2 points of attack power. It's also standing on forest terrain with a value of 1 point. Add those together and your machine has 3 points of combat power. My machine is standing on grassland terrain with a value of 0 points. It's also not attacking, which means their attack points aren't in play. So my combat power is 0. This means your machine can do 3 points of damage. Go ahead and test it out. There you go. Now, choosing the right terrain doesn't just improve your offense. It can also help defend your machines from attack. Grab your other piece and place it in front of my second machine. Since your machine is attacking, it's using its 2 points of attack power. It's standing on grassland terrain. This terrain has a value of 0. This means your machine's combat power adds up to 2 points. My machine can't use their attack power since they're defending their position. But they have the higher ground. They're standing on forest terrain, which is worth 1 point. This means my combat power adds up to 1 point. Now, the front of my machine is colored blue. This means that the spot you're about to attack has armor protecting it. Which means my machine gets an extra point, giving it a total of 2 combat power points. If we compare the combat power of both machines, you'll see that you won't be able to do any damage. Whenever you're unable to top an opponent's combat power, you can still choose to attack and break their machine's defenses instead. Go ahead, try it out and see what happens. Ha, see? When you break a machine's defenses, you can knock it backwards. Sure, both our machines will receive 1 point of damage, but knocking my machine off that terrain makes it more vulnerable to attacks. Not only that, if my machine had been blocked from moving backwards, it would have received an extra point of damage. And if my machine had been blocked by another one of my pieces, that machine would have received damage as well. That's why breaking a machine's defenses is a great way to deal damage to several pieces at once. Useful, right? Okay, now go ahead and end your turn. There's still one more thing I want to show you. All right, as we've seen, the higher the terrain, the more it'll add to your machine's combat power. However, there are 2 other terrains that work a little differently. This is what we call a chasm. Only flying machines can be placed on those. But it'll take away 2 combat points if you do, so be wary. This is marsh terrain. Landing on it will take away 1 combat power point from most machines. It'll also keep your machine from moving for the rest of the turn. Here, let me show you. Grab that machine on your left. See? All you can do now is wait for your next turn to move again. Or you can overcharge your machine to get out of there. You can still attack any nearby enemies so you're not completely helpless. Well, I think that's enough yammering from me for now. Promise it'll all come in handy next time you play. Here for more tips? Why don't I tell you a bit more about the pieces we used to play? In a normal game, you get to choose which machines you place on the board. Each one is worth a certain number of setup points, and you can spend up to 10 assembling your army. Knowing what each machine brings to the game and building an army that matches your strategy is the key to becoming a machine strike master. When assembling your army, there are a few things to keep in mind. First and foremost, you can never have more than 4 of the same machine on the board at the same time. With that in mind, most players would choose machines based on how far they can move or how much attack power they have. But a real strike player will be looking at a machine's type and skills. Let's take a quick look, shall we? Pick up that machine on your left. All right, let's talk about the different ways in which a machine attacks its opponents. In other words, its machine type. If you look at your notes, you'll see this machine here is a melee type. You can also tell by the shape of the base the piece stands on. A melee type machine attacks the first enemy within range, and no one else. We've seen this plenty of times, so just move that piece forward so I can show you some more stuff. Great, now grab your other machine. Looks like we've got ourselves a gunner-type machine here. This means they'll only hit the farthest enemy in their attack range. Let's move that machine forward and end your turn so we can take a look at the rest of the pieces. Let's go with this piece first. This is a ram-type machine. Attack an enemy with it, and it'll push the piece backwards. Like this. See, now my machine has taken over your machine's spot on the board. This is a great way to take the advantage away from your opponent if they have the higher ground. Looks like we have one more piece to look at. Now this is a beauty of a piece, a dash-type machine. When it attacks, it'll move to the end of its attack range and damage every machine in its path, including your own. So make sure you take a good look at the board before you send it off to the races. You should also make sure it's able to finish its attack on an empty spot. Otherwise, you won't be able to attack at all. Here, I'll show you. Look, it even rotated your piece. A nifty little piece you'll definitely want in your set. If you look at your notes, you'll notice this particular machine has one of the skills I mentioned before. There's quite a few of those, and we haven't even looked at all the machine types yet. But I'm pretty sure you've got more important things to do, so I made you a list. It's got all the tips and tricks we talked about, too. I think that about does it for now, so if you want to play a real game, just let me know. Here for more tips? Why don't I tell you a bit more about the pieces we used to play? In a normal game, you get to choose which machines you place on the board. Each one is worth a certain number of setup points, and you can spend up to 10 assembling your army. Knowing what each machine brings to the game and building an army that matches your strategy is the key to becoming a machine strike master. When assembling your army, there are a few things to keep in mind. First and foremost, you can never have more than, with that in mind, most how far they can move, but let's take a quick, all right, let's talk about the different ways in which a machine attacks its, if you look at, you can also, a melee, we've seen this, so, great, now grab, looks like this means they'll own, let's move so we can, let's go with this piece first. This, like this. Ending it here? Okay. Here we go. Come up. Your move, Red. Single machine left? That ain't good. Okay, let's see. You're up, Red. Looks like I lost. This is gonna be fun. Time to get serious. Your turn. Time to make my move. Board's all yours. Guess I shouldn't have left that weak spot open, huh? That was a surprise. My turn. Well, that's done now. Knocked right off the board. My turn. That's it for me. You got me down to one piece. I am impressed. Get serious. That was brutal. Okay, let's see. Guess luck's not on your side today, Red. Good luck. Your turn. Time to make my move. You're up, Red. Come up. Sometimes I surprise even myself. Ah, off the board it goes. One less piece on the board. Armor is your best friend in this game, I'm telling you. Ah, off the board it goes. Time to get serious. Board's all yours. Just one piece left. That sure dampens the forge. My turn. That's it for me. I was hoping you wouldn't do that. I always get nervous when I overcharge my pieces. Oh, I thought I had that one. Let's do this! Time to make my move. That's it for me. One less piece on the board. My turn. Your turn. Oh, seriously? That was brutal. I'm up. Off the board it goes. Hey! Oh, that was the perfect spot. One less piece on the board. Your move, Red. Time to make my move. That was brutal. You are on a roll. Knocked right off the board. Okay, let's see. Well, that's done now. Ah, not that easy to get through my machine's armor, is it? Well, spark my forge. You have beaten me on every one of my boards. Now that deserves a prize, I say. Don't be a stranger.